any women here today?
Oh, hello. Do you like my naughty little microphone? It's ever so phallic, don't you think? But I'm here to tell you today, folks, that Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet, if you're looking forward to that video game from Neil Druckmann, the Jew boy himself at Sony PlayStation and Sony Studios, you better hold your breath for much, much longer. How much longer am I talking about? Well, we're in the year 2025, and I think maybe add another 5 more years to that, and that's your answer, my favorite mathematicians. And speaking of which, ChatGPT 362536, she's an absolute virtual delight, don't you know? I asked her the question, what does Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet mean? And these are the doozy answers she gave back to me. Shall we share those together, folks? I think we should.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Never surrender!
Intergalactic, spanning galaxies, including Uranus, beyond normal human or planetary limits. Heretic!
Right, we did say Jehovah.
One who rejects or challenges established beliefs. Prophet, someone who receives revelations or foresees the future. Well, Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog, the president of Can You Foresee This Prediction, You Bald-Headed Fool? You're going to be fired before 2030, and all of us will come out on the street and celebrate your demise because you're the man who destroyed gaming as we know it. You're the man, Mr. Druckmann, who got rid of Amy Hennig during the development of Uncharted 4 and took all the credit and storylines and story beats for yourself because you're an evil-minded simpleton who, by the way, doesn't like the idea of attractive women, because if you saw the remastered or rebastard version of The Last of Us Part 1, where they took the lovely attractive young character of Tess and remade her into an old hag so she can be lined up perfectly with the old hag that is Joel Miller, of course it makes so much sense, doesn't it, that the prophesizing of ChatGPT about your ridiculously titled project name for this game is going to be another cut and paste of Uncharted, maybe elements of Jak and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot all roll into one big bald head that of course is played by Titty Gabrielle, or Tatty as she likes to be known as. You know, the she, her, they, them pronoun, yes queen, because she's going to be the one that tells you when it comes to playing video games, this is the female character lead that you're going to be forced to play as.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
This is the absolute worst generation ever, says Tom Phillips. And if you want to know what Tom Phillips looks like, well, here she is. Fans of the Unfarted and Last of Us Studio should not expect another glimpse of the project at next month's annual Video Game Awards ceremony hosted by GLAAD and Jeff Keighley. Discussion around when to expect Intergalactic was recently spanked by journalist Colin Moriarty. Now, if you don't know who Mr. Moriarty is, he's this bearded fool who owns a company called Last Stand Media, who by his own admission hasn't seen much hot takes this year in terms of content and generating a revenue for that company. So, oh well, never mind. Now he finds himself as the self-invited or self-imposing guest on many a podcast, including Dan Allen, the zombified Australian YouTuber who really should take a week off from YouTube, go to a spa, lose some weight, have less of the Vegemite sandwiches, and he might be better off for it. And speaking of not turning a profit, remember this game? Yes, the disc in my one is shaking around at the moment. I have no idea why, even though it's still lovely and sealed, but Yeah, I have a funny feeling that the Heretic Prophet might be meeting its maker, called Concord, in due course. And also, if you want to believe the rumors that they're redesigning the female lead of Jordan, no, not that Jordan from Page 3 of the Sun, that layabout waste of space woman, or called Katie Price. No, I don't think they're going to do that, because that's not in the wheelhouse of Neil Druckmann to do that sort of thing. It means he's admitting failure by going back to what people want, an attractive, likable female character, because you can't have an attractive female and she's thoroughly unlikable. But also, even if they were to do that to appease the fans and the outrage mob at the moment out there, it's like a polished turd, because you can still take a piece of shit and give it a nice coat of paint, but at the end of the day, it's still a piece of shit. So on that one, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of this story today? I think it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, you've got people like Sandfall Interactive with the Clear Obscure Expedition 33 enjoying so much applause and universal praise everywhere. And then you've got Embark, who have got Arc Raiders out, and they're loving the attention. And these are made up of people from Ubisoft and DICE. They've gone on, done an independent game or AA game, and it's doing big business. And meanwhile, you got Sony, like the injured dog that it is, licking its wounds, and they still can't figure out why people hate Neil Druckmann, hates their output so much. Because again, and if I haven't repeated it before, I will say it one more time, when I see that Naughty Dog logo coming up back in the day in the 2000s, the golden era of video gaming, folks, it always used to bring a big smile to my face, because I knew I was going to be in for something special. But then later on, as the years went by and people, all the good people, all left, like Bruce Straley, who strayed far, far away and has never spoken to Neil Druckmann ever since, you wonder now why all that is left is a husk. And what does a husk do? Nothing. It brings misery and malnutrition to those who touch it. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if I were you, and if you were certainly me, I will catch you catching me for the return of the next video. What's your favorite Naughty Dog franchise? And number one is The Last of Us with 47%. What a crock of shit. Uncharted should have been number one, and I think in a close second place should have been Jak and Daxter along with Crash Bandicoot. But you can guess already that there are many activists who work with inside IGN who had to mass vote The Last of Us as the number one choice. I doubt very much that the public had much to do with this voting poll so far, which only has garnered 11,411 voters. If I just choose the refresh button quickly, will it make much of a difference? Sadly, it hasn't. Even my browser has given up on IGN as well.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible with me.